Hello Year 2, welcome to your comprehension video for Friday the 26th of February. We're on our last text of the week. We've been really impressed with your comprehension work this week and also your writing tasks. You are getting so good now at these retrieval and inference questions and writing down your answers to the questions. We've been really impressed. Let's look at our last text for the week. Our learning question says, can I answer questions on a non-fiction text? We haven't had a non-fiction text yet this week. Can we remember what non-fiction means? So remember, fiction texts are stories that are made up, whereas non-fiction is factual information. It's text where we're given facts and information about real things. So we've got some retrieval to do today, some answers where we're picking out, some questions where we're picking out the answers, and some opinions. So we're going to need to give our opinion, and remember, when we do that, we don't just give our opinion, we back it up with some reasoning or some evidence. Okay. So our non-fiction text today is called Submarines, and I bet lots of you already know what a submarine is. I've got a picture of one on my board. There is a submarine. Okay, so submarine is a type of boat, isn't it, that goes underneath the water. So we will be thinking today about some information and facts about submarines. You may already know some information or facts about submarines, or you might be able to have a predict about what sort of facts we might be finding out about submarines. So give the video a pause. This is your chance for a little prediction time. We know it's non-fiction and about submarines. What sorts of things may we be reading about in our text today? You'll be able to see if you are right when it is reading time. Let's go through some tricky words then. I've got some tricky words that we may not be able to decode that we're going to go over. Again, you might want your text in front of you to find the tricky words as we go. So if you do, it is page 5. And then some of the tricky words, we're going to talk about the meaning of them, the definition, to make sure we know what those words mean to help us to understand the text really well. So that tricky word is 1. That we know that one by sight. Tricky word 1. Water, that one. So letter A making the O sound, water. So it's the A that's the tricky part. That we know that one by sight, lots of us. The word could. Same for that one. We've got E and O, but it's making an E sound. It's people, isn't it? That one, people. That one's cold. Old, cold. This one, my phonics children, we will hopefully be able to read this one because we've been thinking about this sound this week. The letter I is making an I sound, so this word is find. It's find, find. This one's quite a tricky one because in this word, the letter Y makes an I sound, and the P and the E go together to make a P sound. The E is a silent letter, which we sometimes have a silent E on the end of words. So this word is I, type. I can type on my keyboard, but type can also mean a kind of something, can it? So we have different types of bread, we have different types of pens, different sorts or different kinds. This one then is the word ocean. Now I have put my scratchy head man on, and that's what we're going to have for the words we're thinking about the definition. I'm sure we remember from our geography lessons about oceans what an ocean is: a large body of water. This word then is really tricky, but it links to one of the words we had yesterday. So it is scientist. And a scientist is an expert in science. We thought about science with the Science Museum, didn't we? So a scientist is an expert in science, somebody who studies science or knows lots and lots about science. Okay, then we've got the word explore. Explore. Explore something. Again, you might know what the word explore means. So if you are going to explore, it means you are going to travel in, over, or through, or to look into. So you might explore when you go to a new place. You might travel through it, having a look around. Or if I gave you a box of exciting things, you could look through it and be exploring what was in the box. We've got the word explore. Okay, hopefully that should be most of the tricky words that you are going to need to be able to read. So we are looking for page 5. In our text, it's submarines. We've got a little bit of non-fiction text, and there is a submarine picture there. There's another picture for us to look at. It looks a little bit different to the one I did. So find your Year 2 comprehension book, turn to page 5, and on your marks, get set, read. Off you go, and then come back to me when you're done. Okay, hopefully you have read the text. Hopefully you did really well with some of those tricky words, and hopefully you have got a good understanding now of our text. Just like normal, we are going to look at some practice questions. Okay, I will go over the practice question on the board, but if it is to do a little bit of extra, you wanted to do the practice questions and write them down in your red-lined book, that would be fine as well. If not, we could just go through them together to give us some ideas. So our question, we've got tricky word that we've had before there, many, and people. How many people can fit inside submarines? How many people can fit inside submarines? So I'm thinking that people is going to be one of my important keywords to look for. So let's have a little look. When I'm looking for my keywords, remember I can do my skimming and scanning, so I can skim through until I find the word people. Skim, 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 skim. You do the same in yours. There we go. We've got the word people there. So let's find that in my text. The word people. Okay, so I go back and I read the sentence that has in it my keyword. Some submarines are so big that over 100 people can fit inside them. So then that is the answer to my sentence. Over 100 people can fit inside some types of submarines. So how many people can fit inside a submarine? Some submarines. Again, it's retrieval, so I'm retrieving it. The answer is there for me to copy. Some submarines can fit. Part of my sentence is in the question. Some submarines can fit. And this is the retrieval part for me to copy out. Over 100 people. Again, it's really important that you take the time to look at how your words are being spelled. If it is a retrieval question, you should be copying the spelling down correctly. Okay? Some submarines can fit over 100 people, and then really I should put the word inside as well, shouldn't I, to make that make sense? 100 people inside. And then my full stop. Next one. Copy the sentence that tells us what a submarine is. Copy the sentence which tells us what a submarine is. Now, I know a non-fiction text would normally start by telling you a bit more information. So let's have a little look what a submarine is. And I can see that at the top it says a submarine is. There's my keywords. A submarine is a type of boat that can travel underwater. water. So all I've got to do, says copy the sentence, is exactly that. I would copy that whole sentence down again, thinking about all of the spellings being done correctly. So a submarine, capital letter, a submarine. It's the whole sentence. Submarine, finger space, is, and we had our tricky word type, didn't we? A type of boat. Type of boat that travels under water. That travels underwater. Full sentence, all copied correctly. Underwater. Okay, let's just check if I copied that sentence. Travels under water. Super duper duper. Right then, let's have a little look at your questions for today. Your questions say there are 4 of them. Question 1. What do scientists use submarines for? So you need to look for where it tells us about the scientists in the text. What do they use them for? It will probably say scientists use submarines. It will probably have those key words in the text, won't it? So we're looking for telling us about scientists. Question 2. How many people could fit inside the turtle? So the turtle was a kind of submarine. It was the name of a certain submarine. So the turtle is where you need to be looking in the text. Find that keyword and it should tell you how many people could fit inside the turtle. Question 3 is a copy the sentence question like we've just thought about. Copy the sentence that shows how submarines have changed over time. Okay, so it's telling us that one is a little bit tricky because it hasn't necessarily got all of our key words in for us to look. So if I look at the word changed, if I go back to my text, when I had a little look, I can't see the word changed. But it does, if it's over time, it does tell me about the first submarines and then it does tell me about today. So that is a bit of time talk, isn't it? So hopefully, if you read about what they were like and then you read about what they are like today, that should give you the answer to how they've changed over time. And then question 4 was your opinion question, similar to the one we had the other day about the tree house. Would you like to go in a submarine? Why or why not? Yes, I would because, or no, I would not because. And remember, we give a reason. The reason could be evidence about what you know about submarines or linked to something that you've read about, but we like to give some kind of reason why. Okay, so those are our questions. You can either have a little look at them now and then come back for the challenge, or stick with me, see what the challenge is, and then go away and do all of your activities together. So your challenge today says, can you write a description as if you were looking out of the submarine window? Can you write a description? So I've given you a picture that you might want to use to help. So if you were doing your challenge, you might want to pause the video on this picture or have a little look if you can find some other pictures if you use the internet of under the sea or underwater and submarines. So you might want to use that picture. And then I have given you some little hints. So I've asked you to think about what you can see and what you can hear. And then I have given you some sentence openers that you might want to use. So under the sea, through the window, outside the submarine. Okay, so you might want to say, under the sea, there are, or there is, and describe what you can see, or through the window, I can see, and a few sentences to do a little description. So, can't wait to see how well you do with those. Remember, it is Friday, so our last comprehension and writing task for the week. And then we've just got next week to do before we are doing our reading and our writing all back in school. Okay, so ask your grown-up to send me a picture of your 4 questions in your book and your writing challenge. Can you write a description as if you were looking out of a submarine window? Can't wait to see how well you do year 2. Keep working really, really hard and then have a lovely, lovely weekend. And we'll see you back for Monday.